And welcome back, trombone friends. This is Jeff Phillips again, your trombone professor at Belmont University, and I am doing now the 7th and 8th grade lyrical etude for our mid-state auditions. So take a look at this. Key signature. There's not one, so there's no excuse to miss a note. I always say that. No one ever laughs, nor do they heed that advice. So, everything's natural. A naturals, B naturals, E naturals. Everything's natural. Not a flat in here. So, just be natural. Alright, so, 3/4 time. The lyrical is supposed to be a little smoother. It's also a little slower. But it's not like super ultra slow. It's got a metronome marking on there, 72 to 80, so it's not like falling out of the chair slow. All right, so we'll play it through and then we'll go back. Okay? Well, there's that one. So one of the things you want to do in pretty much any kind of music, but this one will lend itself to that really well, is give a little emphasis to the beginning of every measure. So you think of it as 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and so it just gets a little, I don't want to say tongue it harder, but just a little more breath emphasis, so it sort of brings a little bit of life into it. That'll count on your musicality score. Okay, again, in here we have slurs to deal with, so let's take a look at those really quick. A, G, E, C. Okay, so you got a few different things you can do there. A to G, probably 99% of people are going to play that 2nd to 4th, of course. You have to do a little articulation, a little legato tongue. Now you go to the E, that's actually a natural slur. There's no wind in the room. How did that just blow over? Oh, it's a ghost. Okay. All right. Technical difficulty. Excuse me. I'm not shutting off the camera. We're going right with this. All right. So, so you have to make those sound the same. And then from E to C, if you have an F attachment, of course you'll go 2nd to 1st with the valve. If you don't, you'll go out to 6. In that case, it'll be a natural slur. If you have the valve, okay, so have to kind of figure out what you want to do there, and if you've got the valve in this case, I suggest using it. It's not a thing that you play heavy. For those of you with F attachments, every C that is on a piece of music from the day you get that horn does not have to be played here. There are many times when it makes more sense to play it out here because you're already out there. So just throw that out. All right, so you have the dynamics to look at. Of course, it's going to start with a good full sound. Think of mezzo forte as being just take off the mezzo. Play with a good, healthy sound. I don't want to say blasty, but play full to begin with. That way you've got some room to taper down to the mezzo piano in the 2nd measure. 3rd measure, you've got 2 things to deal with. 1 is the slur. 2 is that dotted 8/16 rhythm like in the other piece. So just for practice, I would suggest going okay, so that you get that 16th in the exact right spot. The tendency over time, if you're not real careful with that, is to play it sort of like a triplet, and you don't want that. So be thinking 1 and a 2, putting that 16th exactly in the right spot. Slurs, G to F. Natural slur. Got to articulate there. And you have natural slur, E to G, G to A. Have to articulate there. And then you have natural slur A to B. And do not play B flat. It is not a B flat. It will not be on the day of auditions. So do not play B flat there. All right, B natural, fourth position. Okay. Okay. So you have natural slur, legato tongue, natural slur, legato tongue, natural slur. That's all in one measure. So right there, they're alternating. That's kind of handy. All right. The last measure of line 1. You got a few options here. One I would suggest taking, and that is, like in the other audition piece, the technical excerpt, that you play the D in fourth. You'll get a natural slur there. It's probably going to be more secure for you to play the E natural in the second position. That second position, also like in the other excerpt, that E natural is down a little bit. It's in a slightly further out, a flat second position, just by a little bit. Okay, so you got to find it where it is on your horn. Use a tuner. Also, use your ear. These are the best tuners that you have. All right, so listen for that note. You can play it in first, but I would personally play the D in fourth, and then legato tongue from the D to the E. There is one option, and again, throw this out there just for you to experiment with. I probably would not play it this way on an audition, but you need to know that this note exists in this spot because it can be handy. The E you can play in fifth position. I know. Who knew? And you could do all that. Therefore, you could do all those as a natural slur. It's there. It's a good exercise to maybe work on, just so you know it's there. It'll also help with your upper range. Security on an audition might be a factor. Probably safer to play it in this flat second position, but yeah, you do what works for you. All of that's good in that it crescendos as it goes up, so that'll give you the air you need to work on that upper register. Okay, so the eighth note, last note in the first line, is a pickup. If you're out in fourth, but what I would probably do in that last measure is play 3, 4, 2, and then play the next D in first, just because that's the direction I'm going. D da da, D da da, and then I get to go back out. So that there's 1, 2, 3 notes in a row right there that I have to legato tongue. So that's a decent trade-off though. Measure 5, beat 3. If you'll notice, the end of the curved line, the end of the slur, the end of the little motive there is on the A in beat 2, and then it starts over beat 3 with articulated. So make sure you give a definite articulation to beat 3, the D. That's another one I would play in first. So I've got okay, so I'm kind of starting that over. Dee da da, ta da, ti ta. So that each one of those beginnings of the curved line gets a definite, not really hard articulation, but one where you can tell that that's where we're starting. Okay, so and then accent, but don't explode on the last 3 measures here. It's got an accent on it. I'm going to tongue it really hard in context, okay? You don't have to go. It's got an extra. No, don't. Please don't. The guys behind the cardboard will be laughing, and you don't want that. Okay. Last note, make sure you hold out for 3 counts. Count it. Don't just guess. And I guess well enough. I don't know. Actually count those 3. Once you get there, to the E, the very last note, I wouldn't worry about continuing a decrescendo physically. I think as you run out of air, nature will take its course anyway. I would also suggest taking a breath between measure 7 and 8, just so you have enough to last there at the end. Okay. So I would put a break there between the C half note and the G quarter where it says mezzo forte. All right, so those are the excerpts for the 7th and 8th grade. Also check out the 7th and 8th grade scale video. I've just got some little hints I want to go over on that. So check that out too, and best of luck on your auditioning.